Today we're going to be talking about motor-based developing, otherwise known as constant agitation. Not the same kind as when you haven't shaved your ball bag in 2 weeks. I'm going to do some motor-based developing. For those of you who aren't familiar with what motor-based developing is, it's basically a Jobo. We're not going to be using a Jobo today, we're just going to be using this Bessler base motor. All this thing does is spin your tank. Just turns your crank, spins your tank. I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited about this. Constant agitation will speed up your developing process. From what I've seen online, 15%. I don't know for sure. I'm doing this for the first time right now, which is a bit of a risk in a way, but if you're shooting film, if you're developing at home, I think you're already willing to take a certain amount of risk. The real risk that I'm taking is that I'm using 4 rolls that have significance, so I'm sort of taking that risk. I've mitigated my risk a little bit by putting 2 rolls of film that I gave to friends to shoot. The other benefit to motor-based developing is that you don't need your film submerged the entire time. What you need is what I'm assuming is a third, somewhere around a third to half of this container filled, because it's going to be constantly rolling, so it's going to be constantly going through. The 15% developing time, not really a big deal, but using half the chem, especially if you're using one shot, I don't necessarily think that you're saving chemicals if you're reusing it. I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit and maybe look at some more stuff up on the internet and check forums, because in my mind, you're still using an amount of chemicals and that's still gonna eat up a certain amount of the usefulness of the chemicals before you put them back in. I don't know if that makes sense. If anybody does know who's watching this video, leave a comment down below. The other benefit is that this is more hands-off. You're putting in your chem, you're setting this going, your development time is your development time. I can walk away for the amount of time that this needs to sit in the developer and take care of other things. I tend to shoot a lot of film before I develop a lot of film. So I end up in these situations where I have a bag of undeveloped film. So this is all undeveloped. I've got some black and white 120 in here. There's more 120 from my LM. I've got some TX, some Tri-X. I've got color film in here, more black and white. This is all undeveloped film. I don't remember what half of this is. I lived in a different state when I shot all of this film. So in my situation, I end up shooting a ton. If I can get a really good workflow going on this, I can be a little bit more productive. My buddy Fletcher, he's in a really good workflow where he'll shoot a roll or 2 in a day and then he'll develop it. I think usually by the next day, he's generally developing it, if not the same day. So he's already in a good workflow. He's got good habits. He doesn't necessarily need to think about this sort of thing.
Tall and tan and young and lovely, the gal from Ipanema.
Time for the moment of truth. Let's see if I f***ed up my film. All right. We have images. Awesome. They have this beautiful drying closet. The film is touching.
No touching!
I've set the timer to 15 minutes. It actually does kick out a little bit of heat. Ultimately, the motor-based developing was a success. All the images that I got to look at kind of just before I put them in to dry looked good. They looked very consistent. It's kind of obvious that it should be because it's a constant agitation. I think these things are great. once I'm more familiar here and into a better, more consistent workflow, I'm going to be able to load up 4 of these rolls into a Patterson, get it going, wait the 8.5 minutes, and while I do that, I can load up another Patterson with 4 more rolls and just kind of piggyback it real quick so that the second I'm done with those first rolls of film, I can put another 4 in and start doing the post work that needs to be done on the film once it's developed. Cutting it, hanging, oh god, I'm burping while talking. Hanging it, getting it to dry, organizing things, cleaning things up. Pretty stoked about it though. It kind of takes a little bit of the error out of the way and frees up a little bit of time for me, and I like that. I think it's cool.
I like that.
Spin your tank, just turns your crank. I'd like to thank the sponsors for today's show. You can become a sponsor of this show. If you send me as little as $1 on Venmo, I will review your Instagram account in the next episode. As little as $1, that's all it takes. If you want to send more, awesome. Fair warning, I'm probably going to rip it apart like a jealous monkey who didn't get any cake, but that is what it is. If you don't really want me to review your Instagram account, send me your YouTube page, I'll review that. Send me your Tumblr account, I'll review that. I don't care. Send me your LinkedIn account, I'll review that. I'll tell you what I think of it. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel so that you can stay up to date on the stuff as it comes out. And till I see you next time, don't forget, the hustle is real.